state. But a ripple grows stronger when more hands join the water. So whether you're an organization or a corporate partner or an individual who believes in education, you can be part of this ripple. Support EDTF and help us expand Ripple. Donate, partner, or volunteer today. Together, let's transform our educational landscape. EDTF, building futures and putting smiles on faces.
What you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we have...
Reaching you from Bielsa's capital city, Yanagwa, my name is Babi Mparu. Let's check out the top stories. Bielsa State Governor Senator Doye Duri said the state will establish an agency to regulate the extraction and transportation of black sand, warning those involved in illegal activities in the state, waterways and coastal areas of strict sanctions. The Senate has passed the Constitution Alteration Bill on state police following extensive debate, marking a major step toward the establishment of state police across Nigeria. Similarly, United States Congressman Riley Moore has welcomed the Nigerian Senate's passage to the state police bill, saying the proposed reform would strengthen security and help states better protect their citizens. The Nigeria Customs Services Ogun 1 Area Command has handed over thousands of piles of cannabis and other illicit pharmaceuticals seized at Idiroko and NDLEA and NAFDAC for further investigation and regulatory action. To conclude, the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission (ICPC) has arraigned former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai, a former aide, and 5 others over alleged corruption, money laundering and related offense linked to 8.68 billion naira CCTV surveillance contract. And that concludes News Brief for today. You have been watching Naija Live Television. Thank you for watching. Welcome to Globe in View on Naija Live Television, reaching you from Bielsa's capital city, Yanagwa. My name is Babi Mparu. The headlines: Bielsa to establish Waterways Agency warns illegal black sand miners. Senate passes State Police Bill, awaits State's final approval. U.S. lawmaker welcomes Senate approval of State Police Bill. A quick reminder for our viewers and partners that Naija Live TV is officially open for business. If you are looking to boost your brand through paid adverts or sponsorships, we are ready to partner with you. You can contact us on our studio line on 081 293 40000. For physical consultation, visit our head office at number 122 Mbiama Yanagwa Road, Amarata, Yanagwa, Bielsa State. And don't forget to stay connected. Follow us on Facebook, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and X at Naija Live TV. Or visit our website on www.naijalivetv.com. Details of the news shortly. Glad you're still with us. Bayelsa State Governor Senator Doye Diri said the state will establish a waterways agency to regulate activities on its waterways following a Supreme Court judgment affirming the rights of Bayelsa State and Lagos states over above-surface waterway management. Speaking during the 189th State Executive Council meeting in Yenagoa, the governor said the proposed agency would regulate activities such as black sand transportation and extraction. Governor Diri warned against illegal black sand mining, stressing that while government supports job creation, resource extraction must be carried out legally and sustainably to prevent environmental degradation. He also disclosed that the plans were underway to provide a legal framework for the agency and strengthen regulation of the state's natural resources. Nigeria has moved closer to establishing state police following the Senate's passage of the constitutional alteration bill seeking to decentralize policing across Nigeria. The legislation processes the creation of state-controlled police services alongside the existing Nigeria Police Force, and it's widely regarded as a major step in addressing the nation's security challenges. The bill was approved after senators secured the constitutionally required two-thirds majority through a manual voting process following technical issues with the chamber's electronic voting system. Away from Nigeria to foreign news. The United States Congressman Riley Moore has welcomed the Nigerian Senate's passage of the Constitution Alteration Bill seeking to establish state police across the country. Moore, who represents West Virginia's 2nd Congressional District in the U.S. House of Representatives, said the reform would help states better protect citizens, particularly vulnerable communities. The lawmaker made the remarks in a post made on his X handle following the Senate's approval of the bill aimed at decentralizing policing by allowing states to establish their own police services alongside the Nigeria Police Force. Moore noted that the proposal was a reform he had supported both publicly and privately, describing it as a significant step toward improving security at the state level. At least 32 people have been killed and more than 700 injured during the back-to-back earthquakes in Venezuela. Acting President Delcy Rodriguez said the worst hit area is La Guaira state north of Caracas, where dozens of buildings reportedly collapsed. Rescue teams and authorities assess the full extent of the damage. That concludes Globe in View for today. My name is Babiong Paru. Thank you for watching.
Where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals. will be easier for the young get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop, but we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria.
Z10 for high-tech precision engineering. A technology and heavy-duty industry. Original spares for automotive, locomotive, aviation, marine and agriculture. Research and development for automotive engines and electric cars. Heavy-duty off-road equipment. Reverse engineering. Technological development. Academy for innovators and impressionable minds.
We are for the peace.
Dear esteemed community leaders and people of Bayelsa State, the Doiduri-led Prosperity Government is committed to transforming our rural communities into thriving hubs of development. We believe that every community deserves access to absolute peace.
There seems to be an agreement among the political class, more like a note of silence, never to have certain topics come online or, in our faces. But this is what we talk about here on Politics Without the Politicians. And here on Unfiltered, I'm Israel and I'm with Henry. So we're talking about these things from the outside perspective, from the perspective that you will talk about it as a non-politician. Or some of you are politicians, but we are talking about it from the outside perspective, and we are addressing every area that, especially these politicians will talk
outside
about.
Of the political box.
Yes, outside of the box. Yeah.
Outside of the political box.
So first, we are talking about. Let me start with the most common yet quieted by politicians. That's the idea of mobilization, and what mobilization means now in our society today, especially now that we are running into the campaign season. Mobilization. When you hear mobilization,
well, typically for anybody who would join in all of these gatherings know that mobilization precedes demobilization. When you mobilize me, you have to demobilize me. You don't typically call me for an event, and then I come for the event with my own money, and then I'm going back. You're not giving me something, As a matter of fact, for you to make people to come to an event, there has to be a price to it. People don't generically come for events or go for events. No matter how loved you are as a political leader, in our polity, no matter how loved you are as a political leader, even when you say, sometimes you say you want to do protest, you most times would do demobilization after the protest. You see, most protests are not even organic.
Yeah.
You say you want to protest, but after the protest, you are giving people something, take 2, take 3, take 4, take 5K, go back home. Sometimes it's not even too much. It's just a little money.
But the bad thing is, these people might love you genuinely, but there's this mindset that we have that you just have to do something. You have to spread something, even if it's 2K, like 5K, 3K. We must come out if you spread something. I will not come out even if we love you. So it's just like a mindset. Even
if we love you and you are the current contemporary OB of today, there is no way you are coming out. I mean, at the back of their mind, they already know that. They already have this assumption that all politicians are the same.
Yeah.
And I am not coming to suffer for any politician. If I am coming, I should get my gain. I should get my profit, my benefit for coming out. And so if I'm going to come out and then I use my transport, use all of this, at the end of the day, they think in terms of what they would get immediately, not in the long term. Even if somehow they see that this could be beneficial for the country or for the state, that's not really what's moves them to attend
For
this
now,
event.
for now.
It's the idea
Let me
that
collect my
they will be
2K.
demobilized.
2K.
Even
when
if
the
the
president
demobilization
came,
are 2K.
when the president came,
There was
so
mobilization,
there
massive
was
mobilization.
mobilization. We will come out too, but
Massive
you will give
mobilization.
us something.
Sure, now them they carry their money, they buy the wrapper, they when they wear. The wrapper included when they wear. Now the women they carry the money, they buy them.
No.
No, they are giving.
You will give us something.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
the idea of giving something, is it that our politics is not, our polity generally is not mature enough? Because I see that outside this country, okay, in the Western climate rather, you notice that people will come out to, they will come out by themselves. They will use their feel. They will come out. They will chant. They will have their. They will create their own banner by themselves, and they will go home by themselves. You know, not expecting this our own aspect of mobilization, anti-mobilization. So is it that the sensibility of their politics or the way the politics are arranged is
Over the
higher,
years.
or the people know our people know never
Over the
mature
years.
reach that kind of level?
Yeah, over the years, maybe I'll call it immaturity. Yeah, but I think I'd like to scale it beyond that. Over the years, there's been tiredness associated with political stuff, political activities. That, like I have mentioned, can only be removed if you decide to incentivize it, put something to it. People generally think all politicians do not have them at heart. So even when they see someone who maybe have them at heart, or they think could have them at heart, they still are very distrust gap. We want change. We want to go for change. We want to achieve change. However, we are not doing this without benefiting immediately, without having an immediate benefit for that. This is Nigeria. I mean, there are other parts of Africa where it's different. South Africa, for instance, they say their problem is immigrants taking their jobs, and basically black immigrants taking their jobs. And you see how they would typically harass Nigerians, Ghanaians. It's been in the news lately, and the Nigerian government too, the Senate, they're looking to do stuff around that with Adam Soshomili, all of the gimmicks in the Senate. But yeah, even what's his name? One of the richest men in Nigeria, Bua. Yeah, he also was he harassed? Rabiu, yeah, he was also harassed rather, in South Africa. His visa was only expired like a day, and somehow he was harassed, and he had to, open up about that. But we want change. We're people who want change. We're people who desire change, but we don't want it enough to say, no matter how it is, no matter what I have to give for it, this change should happen. So we're not desperate enough for change, and that's why some of all these things.
Yeah. So no matter whether it's IYC, whether it's INC, whether it's councillor, governor, any position, even protests, if you bring Nigerians together, you must give them mobilization.
Whether it's Boro Day,
you must, as long as
we are
they come out for you, whether they like you,
we're celebrating a
or
hero.
not.
Whether it's Boro
Day,
you demobilize.
You must pay.
That is why those who are organizing Boro Day would often go meet big men in town, those who also have benefited from the just struggle, even those who maybe did not quite benefit, but they are typically Bielsons, we've benefited from the just struggle, right? The bulk of us have benefited. So meet those persons who are influential in society to support the Boro Day celebration. It is not just for the clothing and all of that. At some point,
you have to.
Any judge that you call here will tell you that demobilization is involved.
Even if they don't tell you on camera, they hardly ever tell you that we spent this amount of money to get the crowd.
Some of them can even tell you. They won't tell you exactly that they spent such amount of money, but they'll tell you, of course, demobilization. And so when you hear demobilization, you know that you don't tell people to attend Israel. There's this thing that typically would happen on IYC, on all of these processions, Boro Day processions. You see irate youths or youths who are not even quite enjoy youths, but they just join the procession, and before you know, they're going into shops, looting and all of those things.
Yeah.
So typically that's one of the reasons they would say, do not open your shops on that particular day. But then the idea of demobilization, if there is proper demobilization, is also
No,
curtail some of
actually,
these things.
is it mobilization or demobilization?
You mobilize, you bring people together. You demobilize by giving people.
Oh, okay.
Mobilization is when people are
no, but some people
brought
believe
together.
that. Some people believe that the whole idea of mobilization is all encompassing. Like demobilization involves bringing and paying.
No, when you mobilize, you demobilize.
So, okay, so when you mobilize,
They actually
they
go hand in hand.
Then you demobilize so that they can go where?
Demobilize for them to go to their
where?
houses and all of
Okay,
that.
so they must come where? So how will a politician actually know that he's organically loved? Because every time he wants to bring people together, they ask for money. They don't even have the money. He just knows. If it's like a social contract between the politician and these people. They just know that as long as I'm bringing people together, I must give them something. So it's a social contract. So you don't have to, even whether you're loved by your people talk good about you, but just know that when it's time to gather, time to do anything, as long as 2 or 3 are gathered, you have to mobilize.
What breeds love for a politician? What breeds love for a politician? Is it not the way you also are free with the people? It's the way you're free. Even if we want to look at it in terms of how much development you've caused, but it's also how free you are with money at the end of the day. Yeah, so you're free with money, and politicians mostly even assume that, I mean, they don't just assume. They tell you these things, whether they know it to be true or not. They just tell you it's political. It's politicking.
But it's not even the politicians themselves that's to blame. Yeah.
Bayelsons love me. My people love me. Sometimes they don't speak because they are certain. They just are using it as a political language for you to believe that they are loved.
And when you go to these small spaces, when people talk about politicians, is this thing that they talk about the most? When they talk about politicians, say, this politician, oh boy, this person a good man. When someone says this politician a good man, it's trying to say, oh boy, when he mobilizes, the demobilization, give you to build your small roads in your communities, and you are happy that he's giving you all those things, and you don't know that you are actually impoverishing your society.
I promise you.
By taking those things. So we are a hazard to ourselves, so to say. We are underdeveloping ourselves. We praise politicians because they are good, they can share money. But they are actually sharing our commonwealth to us, and we are taking those peanuts rather than allow them not share the money so that you'll be strong enough to
but you know,
hold them
that's
accountable.
Actually what people want. That's what people want. The typical man will tell you, people should share this money. Actually, I heard it on radio this morning. People should share this money. Share this money for all of us. Share our commonwealth. They're not hiding. They're saying it
I
now.
think it's out of the fear that even if you don't share the money, you know we'll still do something. So it's still about that fear too, that even if you don't share the money, you don't do anything. Even when you do stuff, you just do little.
That is why
you rather just share the money.
People are. It seems as though they are tired. It seems that they are tired of asking for change. The social contract that government has with the people, or these politicians where they get in government, they ought to know they have with the people. They have not been meeting with them, and these people, they have protested. When they protest, most times they get shot at. They get, of course, they get harassed.
There's
so
a
they are
counter-protest.
tired. There's a counter-protest in most occasions, against them. People who are protesting for good governance. You see another person protesting anti-good governance. I mean, basically, I'm just saying this. This is probably exaggerated, but then that's the idea. People are protesting for good governance. You see another people protesting
anti-group
that are protesting for good governance. Something like that. But that's like a new kind of politics. A new kind of politics that
I think it came with this dispensation.
It came with this dispensation. I think I could actually point from like the Buhari era. The late Buhari era.
Trickles of it started and it now consolidated.
That kind of politics. So it's sad, but it is because of what the politicians have done to us. It's what those in government have done to us. That's why most persons also have this mindset. But then, if you're looking to cause change, if you're looking to do something or ensure that these politicians, they do what they ought to do, you should know that you will look past what you gain in the immediate. But nobody really wants to look past what they will gain in the immediate no more. Nobody wants to look past that again.
That's why platforms like this exist. Let us train ourselves to look past the immediate.
How do we start? First off, there's a lot of poverty in the land.
No, I think if you claim you're a politician and you claim you are popular, don't mobilize. let them come out of love and go. Don't give them money. Make we check something.
Oh, Bubs.
Make we check something. Whether they go come, whether they go
Bubs.
bust out.
That
Don't give them any money.
Most
Most say they go bust out.
That
And you
rally
say,
will
ah,
be
these
very
people they love
empty.
me. I see if somebody decamping and see the crowd. This is how these people love him. These people he's accepted by his constituent. My brother, you give money. You get money where you give. Let's start with the politicians themselves. If all the politicians will, one after the other, in their teams or in their parties, their platforms, we are not giving shishi
Are they there for the interest of the public or for themselves?
in the first place. is the question.
They would
Because-
never want to do that.
Yeah.
They would never want to do that. They like the fact that
Because
they give that.
it seems to be that money that it seems to be like the money that they give is a buyback for whatever they will do when they enter into office or what they are,
It's
or
as
whatever they
basic
are
as that.
doing. You know, they are giving you after when you mobilize, we give you money. They give you 10K. They give you
It's as basic as
5K.
that.
So you need to close your mouth, more chop our own because we they give you your own. You know.
People even love politicians who typically give them more money than cause development.
Yes. True.
Yeah, setting one project here, setting one project there. That will not really concern them. Whenever they see you, just release the
Just
5 10K.
give, and they talk about it in private places. This
When
politician,
when they see
anytime we
leader,
gather-
my leader,
Mm.
they're doing well.
This leader went and win gathers only 1.5. The other guy,
10K,
man,
10K, when they drop, bad guy money dey,
10K, and this one is giving you 1.5, but he's working. This one is giving you 10K and he's doing
It's
nothing.
poverty,
He's
and
doing
most of them, that's the reason for some of this. And most of them are deliberately, I think even the government of the day, some way they are deliberately weaponizing poverty.
poverty.
You know,
Yes.
why give one money when you know that if you rather use all of these 10 million naira you share here, you could do one small project for one small community. And that's a real problem solved. But no,
A
you
real
rather
problem.
just distribute it because well, you're not looking to, you're not really looking to solve
Development
any
wasn't
major
the goal in
problems.
the first
Yeah,
place.
development wasn't the goal.
Development wasn't the
You
goal.
are actually looking for your interest.
Mm.
Politicians want their interest. We are viewing this country like it's not a country, a proper country, like it's a business contraption. I think that's how the political class they view this country, like it's a business contraption. They come, they use the politics for business, and afterwards,
They don't want to go.
they
Yeah,
don't even want to go.
I thought you wanted
Someone
to
is a
say they want
governor.
to go. They don't
Somebody,
want to go.
so-
They
somebody,
don't
was,
want
somebody,
to go. They want
somebody
to stay
was
here.
somebody was a governor. After a governor, he wants to be a senator. Well, before even being a governor, he was probably a local government chairman first. From the local government chairman, he moved to an assembly member. From assembly member, he
Chief
probably
of
went to the House
Staff
of Reps. From House of Reps, either he went to Senate or he came back to being a governor. From being a governor, he then went to Senate and then he retires in the Senate. That Senate, so
Then he
nobody won't
comes,
come out
and
after
that, that Senate, they have to fight to take him off. Like there's
You
a
will
chair,
lead, like-
there's a chair in politics that now gum stay as you sit down, then gum you there. People don't want to leave because they know that
It's like a business.
it's the most lucrative investment, lucrative business. You can and it's a sweatless money. You just know that the money is coming. By being in office, the money is coming. By not doing much, by not thinking much, by not brainstorming
Like,
and
when
doing it,
most
you
of
are,
these
you, are,
guys-
you, are, you are chopping
when
it,
they
you are
leave office,
making it.
they get very hungry. I know deputy governors, you know, people who have gotten up to the position of deputy governors in Bayelsa. Man, if you look at them today, what they were doing back then, they can no longer do. The vehicles they would drive back then, they can no longer do.
Yeah.
The standard of living they had then, they can no longer keep up with such standard of living. You know, so it drops drastically. And because they want to maintain such standard of living, they want to get to the next office.
Yes.
That next office would not help to
It's
form
staying in
that
the circle
lifestyle.
forms the lifestyle. Staying in the circle, so they must stay in the circle. Stay in the circle.
It's really a sad development for
I
for us in Nigeria.
Since you're still talking about politics without the politician, let's use Bayelsa State as a case study. You notice that a lot of businesses in Bayelsa State are even owned by the political class in Bayelsa State. It's a quiet problem.
Now, that should
Quiet
actually be a good thing.
Mm.
But because these guys are not people who are actually looking to really be proper businessmen, if we talk about a lot of business being in Bayelsa State, they are mostly hotels and what's these other very popular
stations.
bars, filling stations. That three. I mean, filling stations, bars, hotels. That's the most popular businesses around here. I mean,
Most
all of these
frequently
businesses,
open
how
business,
industrial are they?
yeah.
Is it a bar? Is it a hotel? How industrial are these businesses? How much can they industrialize a place?
I think that the hotel is a response to a need because I don't want to say that the average Bayelsa people, or the people resident in Bayelsa too, they are giving a lot to hotel.
No, we like Jaye a
hotel.
lot.
We
around
like
here.
we like that
Jaye a lot
life.
around.
We like that life.
See, when they say Europe on one bell, scratch that.
Leave that
Hello,
one out.
Monday to Friday and Saturday, Sunday with the Jaye.
Yes.
Like the hotels are.
The hotel are, so the hotel business is just a response to the demand. It's a response to the lifestyle of the people. We want to hang out. We want to sleep over. We want to carry one or two and they're all right, so
it seems as though we are people who just want to enjoy.
Yeah,
we have this mentality of that we get money.
Yeah, money day.
This now our state. Now our state, oil full everywhere. Women they share this money, give us, we get money. So when you small one enter, I say, you don't even think of how you want to take investment for proper thing. You're thinking of how you want to take carry and take go flex. So when the money there enough to build a hotel, or but maybe build a hotel, people could take the day okay. Take the day okay once. Because they barely have enough. They barely have the wherewithal to sustain this when they are no longer in office, or when such money ceases to come in. They barely have the wherewithal to sustain it. But there are several hotels in this town that they've managed them around. Several hotels in this ground. Several.
If you've been in this town in the last 10 years, you see that bars and hotels,
they don't last.
They come and they are up there, and after a while, like
we can mention and name names.
Into oblivion and all that.
Give it 5 years at best. Any trendy bar, trendy place.
5 years, yes.
5 years. Just 5 years.
They fizzle out. They fizzle out because. It's people that are not businessmen start a business. They start a business and they run it like they run the government, and you don't expect it to. I hear a lot of hotel people. When I speak to them, they be like, "Oga will just come and collect the money and just go back." Oga will come, ask the cashier how much you have, just collect the money and go back, because it's not. He knows where his fund is coming. He knows where his monies are coming from. His money is coming from the polity. The hotel is just let me just do something. And when the polity doesn't work anymore, he will run the hotels and the filling station and the bars aground just to keep the lifestyle. And the thing about the lifestyle is that it's contagious. Lack of money does not make you want to stop to live the life. No, you still have to live the life. So it's so. A detour a bit back to mobilization, the use of strong men for election, the use of guy we hold their side, the use of even guys from the Okaka prison, the release of guys from Okaka prison for election purpose. These are the things that politicians don't talk. Again, just know, it's politics without the politician. These are the things that politicians will not talk about, that we talk here on Unfiltered Politics without the politician. So the use of boys.
It's really a sad reality, because typically we are ones who want to secure our place, but close to election cycle, and you see big men going to the prison to release those that will help them seize certain things. Well, I don't know if I would say we've gone past the era of ballot snatching, because we're no longer doing so much, but then there are still those boys who will
ballot
release.
Securing, ballot
securing, so that you can foist what you want.
Yes,
men that will be there for you,
and disruption of the area, so that that
if they favor you,
the places that you don't have strong
typically
hold, you get
that's
destroyed.
what election is like in Bayelsa. If you don't have strong men, you're not winning election. The typically will tell you, hey, my votes are organic, my people love me, this, that. But if you don't have strong men, kiss bye-bye to winning an election. Whoever says that whoever has won an election in Bayelsa, in Bayelsa State particularly, the use of strong men can never be overemphasized. It was very, very critical. Those persons who stand there and ensure that, even if they are not quite violent, but then they are the ones who we no go agree, and sure say my particular candidate.
Just in case.
Candidate mind and bring to power. Even if it means cancelling the paper and all of those things. We saw that in Rivers State now. Some votes were some parties cancelled. Rewrite that.
They even use security agents. Security agents. That's another topic.
Do they even
the use of
those ones too? They are part of Nigerians. They are part of all of us.
They have become like part of the boys. At that time, they are part of the boys.
They are hungry as much as the rest of us. Do they pay them well? No. So typically, you tell someone that on election day, I'm going to give you this amount, just calm down. Or they know that at the end of the day, now election I can't cover. If I come up for a year, I will get like 200K. But on the loans, they will not get that kind of robs now. So typically, they want to keep quiet. Now 200K, we don't go take front for that month. They want to keep quiet and allow whatever happens to happen.
And usually politicians like to go to the grassroots and get these strong men, at least get the heads of these strong men, knowing that if you get the head of these strong men, the wards around that area are secured for you, because they will help you to disrupt where it does not work for you and help you to maintain order where it's working for you, so that the order does not come and destroy. So the thing is, when a politician, okay, let's say that a politician has decided I would not be like this. Let's do a different part of politics. What his opponents will rather use that against him. So that's the fear too. Let me just hold my side too.
Clearly, all politicians currently in Nigeria, by outside, they know that if I know get strong man, I need to win election. So you need strong men to win election. Now, who gets strong man pass?
And we brag with it. Simple. That guy.
They may not come to the media and brag about it.
No worry.
Yeah, once they don't hear you say that guy they mobilize, no say.
No worry.
There's something to it.
There's something to it. Yeah.
Even if it's not quite mobilization, but that guy get force.
He get
don't hear force. Yes, hey, this leader force.
That leader get force.
No say men D.
And the use of these men is. And the thing is, you could go to Okaka. Not saying any particular politician, you know. You could go to Okaka now, get people out. They will do the dirties for you, but you not get them back in. We now have to count on another grievous crime that they will have to commit before you get them back inside again. So after election, that's why there's always an increase in pockets of violence, because the guys that you release for election, you can't just go back and fish them back and take them back in again. If there was a contract with the prison and the security agency, let's say it's bad enough that you bring them out, but if there's a contract with those people, you know, a shush contract behind closed doors. Now that after the election, you get those guys back into Okaka. It's a different thing. But this one just
that such contract
after the election, you just let them go. Before you know, phone collecting, busting of head, gang war on the street, and collateral damage for the innocent.
Imprisonment is now becoming like it's for people who are don't have those who are influential, or poor people rather. Because if you still observe what's happening contemporarily, you'd find out that those really have money, it's hard for them to really remain in prison. Even if they are said to be in prison, you notice that they are just one place flexing and then relaxing, you know, enjoy themselves. But typically, being in prison, or those persons who are sentenced to prison and remain in prison, those who are not, they don't have any influence whatsoever. Those who have one big man or one to do calls and have them released, it typically will come out. And that's why we see some of these guys close to election, they come out, boys, we go help a particular leader deliver. And once they deliver it, you can't exactly tell them to go back. You can't exactly tell them to go back. I mean, they have already done something for you. Whether you won the election or did not win, you win it. They typically will remain around. And like you mentioned, foist another insecurity, you know, before sometimes the police would now, sometimes it even depends on how much they've done.
How much they've done, how grievous the crime is.
You now decide to now go into them and put them back in there.
And that might be killing somebody else too, an innocent person. They might take the life of an innocent person after the election. So it's bad enough. And another area again that the politicians don't talk about is the use of, especially in Bayelsa State, the identity, I'm a politician's boy, is like a career in Bayelsa State. It's just easy for somebody to identify as so and so big man's boy, because maybe it is it's like an employment, and they're proud to say these things because of it.
Mr. I get influence, so you don't go ride on me, or.
But you know that guy now, so person boy. Okay. That's why he's
when
driving.
You're dealing with him too, you also know that. You have to be careful. Not to by mistake step on his foot.
Because he has.
When you do that,
he has his strings too. So you see guys dress up in the morning, starch their etibo, they are going to a politician's house, just hanging around, and you know that
the level of unproductivity we have around here is sickening.
That is the job. In fact, it's so bad that
many of them who are hanging around the government house, they don't even have portfolios.
No, you know,
they don't have portfolios. They just go there, and that's something I cannot even quite fathom. How you just dress up, and the next thing, you're going to politician's house, you stay there from morning till night,
and they just share something. They just share something.
The next day you're
you
there.
just go, you're there
There
again.
is no way we're achieving
You're there
development
again.
in this country.
You're there again. And
With
it's
such
like,
attitude and character.
like that guy na commissioner boy, as a career, na commissioner boy be that now. The other one a PAMSEC boy. So as a career, who works like that? Who does career like that?
What country or state develops?
Develops like that, you know, and it's very easy for people to identify, and it's actually a prestigious thing in Bayelsa State, and it's worse that even in this regime, we go into this now. In this regime, Bayelsa State has had the plentiest amount of special assistants, especially on media. Maybe
that's also
maybe it's just an empowerment,
malaise.
knowing that there are no jobs, and the government maybe they want
What
to help
is the
people.
productivity?
Of
To what end? What's the productivity of these persons you're saying you empowered? What are they adding to society? Is it to be laundering the image of government, where government is not transparent enough? They're trying to make it seem as though government is transparent, to attack people who are critical of government. Is that their work? Is that the product? Is that how you measure the
but
productivity?
they're actually working. These portfolio carriers, a lot of them without the portfolios too, and the ones with portfolio, the proponents of government, they act like middlemen between the government and the people, such that when the people want to hold the government accountable, that middle line stops them. That's why you could just post something online about the government, not really critiquing. You might just be pointing out an area that maybe you want the government to see. You notice that the barrage of people come at you. They just attack your post. They attack you because they know that maybe that's just
it's simple.
What they are.
What governments do these days? They, in order to typically, when someone wants a better standing, a better reputation, they would employ an image laundering firm. For many governments, they create an image laundering firm. Put differently, a troll factory. One that their work is just to check people online and attack. That's why you see criticism is really dwindling, especially around here. Not many persons want to come and criticize because they know that when you do so, they will call you out. And other than the 1,000 essays that they have calling you out, you would also be victimized. The work with here no plenty now. If a civil servant you cannot even be a civil servant and then you be talking like that. The rules do not permit you to do so.
True.
But then if you have one engagement somewhere and somehow you're benefiting, because at the end of the day, the money comes from
the top. Yeah.
There is barely enough money around industrialization and business. If we had several companies, IOCs operating here, there's money from several angles. So people can comfortably criticize government without thinking it would affect the next meal they have. But yeah, when you criticize, you are likely to be victimized, and so you also close your mouth. I have invited several persons. Come, let's discuss about governance development. Some of them they talk on Facebook, but they will tell you, my work no go allow me to. If I do, it's not like they're civil servants, so but if I do this, they'll come for me.
And we've had one or two invitations. And these people would not come. Not because they cannot speak, but because they know that there are certain questions you ask them, like they want to reveal certain things that might not sit well with the government, and it will cost them.
These are people who are tired of asking for development. They are tired of asking for change. They just talk when they want to talk, when they can talk. But every other day, we remain the same. Nothing changes. I mean, for the good. We just remain the same. Doing around the circle. Again, I want to start South Africa and how the zeal they have. I mean, what they're doing is not exactly cool. I mean, especially to the African brothers. But the zeal with which they are pursuing this, the passion with which they are pursuing what they believe to be true, that's likely something sponsored by maybe top politicians, But the zeal with which they are pursuing this makes you think this is the people who are ready for change. I wish we had that kind of zeal around here. Not influencers. One of them that calls himself the leader of a particular kind of animal, and another people who are fighting for the release of a particular person. They are online dragging themselves. These are people who are supposed to be holding government accountable. These are people who call themselves influencers for the people, but they are the ones dragging themselves. I be right leader. You are coming to, you want to diminish my impact, my influence. People are coming for me. That's why you did this to my lawyer. You did this to my lawyer. And you have lawyers who are basically chasing clout. That's all they do. They are chasing clout with cases.
But I don't.
People
I
are
don't,
put
I don't
behind
blame.
bars
I don't blame
for
cloud
no
chasing
just
these
cause,
days.
and you're chasing clout.
I don't blame cloud chasing these days, because cloud chasing before wasn't rewarding, but today cloud chasing is rewarding. It comes with the likes. It comes with, you know, Facebook money. It comes with, in fact, social media money. So people would rather chase clout. They rather tell a lie. You know, break morality. You know, go through whatever channel and just to get more of that, like more of the notoriety by people. So chasing clout is rewarding. It's even more rewarding than a lot of positions of in government, especially the low-ended position for young people. They don't get as much as people that chase clout and get the followers.
Oh,
Just imagine
that's
somebody
scary.
somebody like VDM. One post, you know how many thousands, how many K views? That alone, just on Facebook. You know how much is coming in. So even if I was a VDM, I won't stop doing what I'm doing, because it comes with the money.
Exactly why he will
Clout.
continue doing
Not
it. The
to
same
say
cycle.
that, not Rattles.
Today
Rattles.
he's dragging. He doesn't want to be
Rattles.
outside of the
Please,
center of the
please,
conversation.
So please, allow me just say this.
Just drop.
Rattle, please, this is a disclaimer. I am not attacking your this thing. I'm not attacking your boss, because it's very easy for the rattle. They
What are
come
you-
like
what are you
they
being
call
careful
like
right now?
piranha. They
You're
come
being
like
careful right
piranha.
now.
Before you know, they come biting you. I am not attacking your leader, your president. Please, please, stand down, stand down, stand down.
Are you one of them? They're telling
No,
them to stand
I'm
down.
not one of them. But it's they come. They are just like.
But then
that.
sometimes it
It's
helps.
the-
Rattles.
mm.
I'm not attacking you too. This is just a friendly advice. It helps that some of the things that your leader would say, it helps to criticize and also think of these things, process them. So you don't just jump on the bandwagon and you're saying the next thing, you're calling out the next person.
I know-
Think these things through too.
I know a political follower in Bayelsa State that is a big time follower of this Rattle president. He's the first to comment. Immediately you go to Rattle post, you see him there. The first time this Rattle president VDM now talked about
Please to him.
our
First
governors,
lady.
our first lady.
Mm.
The guy has stopped being Ratelo, because if he supports Rattel,
You have affected his
it
pulse.
affected the pocket. The pocket to run dry. So right now he doesn't comment
So,
on. You know yourself.
As
you know
much
yourself.
as he believes in what VDM is doing
Yes.
and what the cause VDM says it stands for is,
he needs to.
he
feed.
doesn't want to. Yeah, he doesn't want
has
to go hungry.
Feed. The guy has to feed.
He doesn't
So,
want to go hungry. And typically around here, nobody wants to go hungry.
who wants to go? It's
Once you
not around
attack
here.
their source of
Globally, who
income-
wants to go hungry?
Once you attack their source of income, this is actually their job.
Mm.
You'll be doing a poor job. You'll be doing a poor job if you don't defend what they have
Yes.
asked you to defend.
Yes. Yeah.
You'll be doing a poor job. You are. It's a troll factory. You've been employed, and you're not trolling. You're not attacking people who are trying to attack or critique the government or critique any agent.
Then what are you doing?
Then you are doing your job poorly.
Yeah.
Now we don't quite blame those people.
Mm.
It is those who are giving them such job, weaponizing poverty yet again.
Yeah.
Weaponizing unemployment yet again.
Yeah.
There are several ways you could engage these guys,
Except
especially in
getting to-
productive
yes.
things. But no, you usually just have them, and these guys mostly have 2K, 1K, 3K, 4, 5. They don't have good influencers even. All of them have no match VDM when VDM when they do that thing against the first lady.
Yes.
They didn't quite
All
match
their
it.
voices were
All their
just,
voices were just doing around here, around there, around there. So they did, the empowerment does not even get to the point where one strong influencer, he says something and then VDM shake or some other shake. No. People who are really influential in this town, like influential, you see their numbers on Facebook. They are mostly outside of, they are
Outside,
outside,
yes,
strangers.
yes. That is because of how we pick. I noticed that outside Bayelsa State, the political class, say in Lagos State, they pick influential people and buy them over. Here, we pick people and make them influential. So it's the dynamics is different. So
We don't even make them influential.
the Lagos
We
State
just give
government
them
can pick somebody like
peanuts.
Shay, the comedian now.
That's rather even different. That's
So
even a better way to go about
they
it.
pick influencers, people that already have the numbers online, that already have a crowd, and they buy them over. So that way you spend money. But
For the
in
next
Bayelsa State,
government.
but in Bayelsa State, they pick anybody and make them influential by the portfolio they give them. So it's only when they pick them that they start to become recognized. It's because they are doing something
They're doing
as an
something.
SSA. I am now an SSA, so it's that position that now makes you popular, not the fact that you worked on yourself and you became popular before the government started.
Here's something I'm going to drop. For the next government that's coming, the next Bayelsa State government, please, we do not want 1,000 essays, SSAs on media or something. No. Please reduce. Let's have the silver days back, where there are not so much of these SSAs and essays there to attack people. I know that social media is now a thing, and typically that's one of the reasons.
Get
but that's
all
not
those
empowerment
guys.
at all.
Get all those
Please
guys.
know that we
give
know
them
better.
5
You
million
cannot be
to go and start their
deciding to do all
life.
of this. Yeah, give them something.
Give them 5 million, 6 million.
When they
let
talk
them go
about
and
doing
start their life.
empowerment, you now give people tailoring machine, and that's the only thing you will know how to do. Is it giving tailoring machine and all of these basic? Yo, tech is a thing. Tech is a thing. Bring people that will come and teach people how to do proper tech. There are several web design, programming. There is back-end for,
app
there are a lot of
development and all
things,
that.
app development. There is cybersecurity, and there was a time, was it EFCC or DSS? I know that one of the government security agencies had talked about employing people on cybersecurity, and they could not find up to 2 or 3 persons in the whole of Nigeria. What should you be teaching your child in this second lap of the 21st century?
That space is beginning to be crowded now, but not by
I can't even say it's beginning to be crowded.
Not
crowded is just something you just said last year or last 2 years. Last year, there's no way it's beginning to be crowded. Cybersecurity, it's an open field for a lot of persons to explore. Learn cybersecurity today. Teach people cybersecurity today. India,
it's not just about teaching people cybersecurity. For me, I'm more concerned about the people, the young people you put around yourself in the polity, the billions of SSAs, the billions of people that are pro-government that you just remunerate, and it's a waste for government.
Some of these services,
give them the skill and let them work on their own, rather than it's not a financial burden on government.
So I mean, how many Nigerian companies can we say? This one is a tech company, a tech startup. This is what they are. This is what they have developed. Where are we in the conversation, in the AI conversation? Where are we? People go out and they talk about the NVIDIA and the AI chips and all of that. Where are we in this conversation? None. I mean, Nigeria, none. Now, I mean, Bayelsa can tap into this. In lieu of the plenty 1,000 SSAs that we would want to have, spend this money and give them small training. So learn these things, they're not disciplined. They're hard though. We have technical schools now. The technical schools should not be straight up to go and learn how to do carpenter or welding and all of those.
Yeah.
It's technical school, right?
Yeah.
There is programming. Tech. There are a lot of things you could. There is a dearth of people with skill in Bayelsa State.
Yes.
In Nigeria, yeah, but Bayelsa State
skill deficit.
Really
what's in Bayelsa State?
A big deficit.
So
we need to start filling this up, and it's not by making people SSAs.
Yeah.
You are only being a part of the problem. You are improving the problem.
Okay. So anyway, we are still on politics without the politicians.
Absolutely.
And I had a comment today. On my way here, I had a comment, and the comment was simple. Not a comment, a statement. If Yahoo stop, a lot of businesses will shut down.
That's one thing. Other than that,
insecurity,
proper insecurity, where you see the drop person will increase. Now we think that typically the government is doing a lot to help with insecurity, but just wait, maybe say Yahoo is no longer a thing. The robbery, the way it will increase in this town. So a lot of persons are now doing it online, and so it's the EFCC going after them now. They've leveled up.
Again, here's the caveat. The caveat is that we are not using this platform whatsoever to support Yahoo.
Absolutely not.
But we are stating, come on, it's
obvious.
Unfiltered. It's unfiltered, so we have to talk about these things. Because if a lot of times, in fact, in the country, we think that there is half employment. We think that there's full employment. We think that the youths are okay. It's because they are engaging in this thing. And when those things stop, you now know, we will now be exposed to insecurity because there will not be alternative ways to make money anymore.
Let's analyze this. Other than, of course, the politicians, the next people who really are spending money on some of these hotels being built, because typical civil servants would not be able to afford it.
With my 150K.
The private employed person on basic companies, I mean, they would not be able to
They
afford
employ-
this.
Is these
So
boys
it's
that
the
cash out?
politicians or
The Yahoo boys. So usually
hotels,
the
they don't even mind
hotels-
underage these days.
yes,
If you are coming,
yes.
you're coming with a 15, 16-year-old girl. As long as she don't get
Come
something,
in, you know.
they don't stress. They don't stress at all.
So a lot
I've
of
been
the-
in some of these hotels, you know, around the reception, just waiting. You see the young lads, I mean, some children walking in. That's another area that we need to even start making policies around, or maybe laws even.
Beyond
around.
hotels and bars, the supermarkets. When you see these boys go out and splurge on things, is it the boutiques? A lot of these businesses are funded by
People have
these
started.
illicit monies that we
People have
complain
started
about.
reducing, you know, buy the products that are meant for the regular biosans, civil servants level kind of biosans. They are now doing projects that
Are
would be
tailored to
liked
meet Yahoo boys.
for the Yahoo boys. That's
Yeah.
exactly what many persons are doing.
Yes.
Maybe I know businesses that are
Yeah.
upgrading. I don't want to be selling this kind of thing again. No, I want to be selling this kind of one because that's not what the Yahoo boys are buying, and they don't want to be selling at 1,000 naira. They want something of 1,000 naira. They want to sell it for 5,000
So
naira.
typically, waiting Yahoo boys, no, they buy, no, they move fast.
You understand?
You
That's
know.
that's the idea of business now. In
No,
in
this
Nigeria.
palm slippers, no, this one now.
Yahoo boys in the buy 'em.
Yahoo boys in the buy 'em. Go about buy the ones where you know say Yahoo boys. You know those trousers, you know those shirts. So, and it looks like okay, that thing you're doing is bad, but if they stop, if it stops in your state, a lot of clubs will close down. A lot of hotels will not see clients again. A lot of supermarkets will not sell as much as they will. A lot of small shops.
Do you know what it makes
You know-
glaring? Do you know what it makes glaring? That there is no money. This is a broke town.
It's
Even
not
now,
just the town.
even now we
this
know
is,
it's
this is a Nigerian problem, sadly.
yeah, but I mean we are
You're talking
narrowing
Bayelsa
down
now,
Bayelsa,
yeah,
yeah?
yeah.
So it just reveals, and I know that Bayelsa is just one of the states where you would typically just know it's broken. In River State, you might not exactly see that happen because there are
Yeah, a
industries.
lot of-
you know.
yeah,
So
yeah.
there are people who are actually making money, like
True.
So without the Yahoo boys, they still will manage. Without
Yes,
the Yahoo,
they'll manage
But
where
But in Bayelsa,
there's a
it will
transformative
just
industrial
drop.
area. So
It will just drop. You just see, oh, but this town is empty or it's broke. Or people will start to relocate to
they
move
move
their
out.
business.
Yeah,
you know.
yeah. And one of the fears is that one of my fear is this is personal now. My fear is that when the constant light come by the grace of God, when the
Amen.
constant light comes to Bayelsa, one of the sets of persons, the sets of demography that might want to enter this town, more of them are the Yahoo boys, because they want a place they'll have constant power supply and just do their bombing that they call bombing. You know, bombing is when they sit down and look for clients. You know,
I
so
promise you, they know that when you explain to them.
so
I promise you, they know.
so they just want lights and they bomb. So we should brace up, because when we have constant power, if we have and when we have constant power supply, I want to be hopeful too. So when we have that, Yahoo boys will enter the town. The thing is, any town that Yahoo boys enter, these boys are not good boys, but any town they enter, money comes with them. You know, purchasing power comes with them, and they seem to be the next phase or the next level of people that have in the have and have not chasm now. They are apart from the politicians, they are the next of the haves, and we want to have them around, even if we don't like what they do. But somehow, what they do gives us money, because they will buy our beer, they will shut down, they will do dorime, they will do all those things, and we will have money.
So
how do we let them go?
Yeah, we don't export enough.
Mm.
We rather import. Now, these Yahoo boys, they are the ones who bring the money. The money we typically send out through our too much importation.
Yeah.
They are the ones who now bring it in through their scams.
True.
So it now feels as though there's the inflation numbers that this country will be doing. Currently, we are doing 15 points per the latest figures of the MBS. But if these Yahoo boys were not there, yet again, this is not an excuse for Yahoo boys. This does
At
not
all. It does
validate
not- it
what
does not validate
Yahoo
what they are
boys
doing,
do.
you
But
know,
if they
it does
were
not.
not bringing money into the Nigerian economy, the inflation rate in Nigeria would not be doing double. It would be probably triple.
But it's a two-way street too, because the sad thing for money value, because these monies are not accounted for. Central bank does not account for this money. So when the bank says we have so and so financial flow, it's hard to really compute because there are flows, there are inflows that are coming in that are not computed. So as much as it's a good thing for people's pockets, it's a bad thing for the financial circle of Nigeria. So even if we have more Yahoo boys, we can't say Nigeria will be richer because they are bringing in monies that cannot be accounted for. If those monies were brought in legally, by now our purchasing power would have increased. And that's why economically, Yahoo is bad. Like, Yahoo is draining us because it does not tell the real state of the financial, the monetary policy of the country. And this is the part that a lot of young people don't know, is the fact that your town can be rich, but your monetary policy is still dropping because that rich town is not computed, it's not on paper that this amount of money, because it came in a way that is not proper, that is not,
it's not even affecting the numbers.
So, yes,
but then I
the
think
money
that
Yahoo
when
make
it's
does not affect our economy.
No, when it's like they would often do, clean it. Once it's clean, it comes back to the economy. And most guys, they know how to clean it. Well, I think it's only like, I actually buy what you're saying, because it's not all the Yahoo boys that would know how to clean this money, and then it comes back, and then legally it's registered.
I heard they use foundations these days to clean money. By foundation, I mean religious foundations.
You know.
Man, our people don't spoil like that. Our people don't spoil rich like that. Again, is it that the economy has drawn them to become what they are? Because imagine that people stop doing Yahoo. There will be a lot of towns that we look up to these days, and we go from the village to those towns because we want to enjoy life. Those towns will be dead zones because there won't be monies anymore. A lot of hotels will shut down. A lot of bars will close. A lot of clubs will close. A lot of supermarkets will not. A lot of businesses, a lot of boutiques, a lot of wares, a lot house rent will even fall, because some towns even increase their house rent because they know that there's a lot of constellation of Yahoo boys, and because there's this constellation in that area, they know that they can keep the house rent there, and the boys that cash out can just come and pay. So there is a problem with letting them go, even if we know that they are not good for society. So you see this dilemma, society, we are inside this dilemma, this spot. We go in there, we go there inside me boy.
Honestly, to the EFCC, for instance, yes, to the EFCC, if political corruption does not stop, if political corruption remains in Nigeria, you would always have the problem of Yahoo boys. It's because we have yet to develop capacity of our youth. They cannot remain hungry. There are basic things to do. Typically, these are the youths that will be robbing you politicians. You are lucky now
that they are doing Yahoo.
That they are doing
giving
Yahoo.
them money. Because when
they are not targeting you for the Yahoo, for instance, they are targeting more foreigners. You're lucky. But if that changes, you will be the targets. And typically, if, like I was saying to the EFCC, if the political corruption in this country does not abate or, I mean, drastically reduce, or even because which might, it's likely impossible, but you would always have that Yahoo problem, because they have to eat. So boys have to eat. And there is, as long as unemployment remains the way it is, and you don't find ways to employ, especially these ones who are coming, they are coming from school. We need to even start thinking of changing this thing we are doing in our secondary school. The Chinese man, they concern himself with all these things that what they do for our secondary school. GS1 to SS3, we are recycling the same thing, teaching the same thing, doing general knowledge thing. Pick them after they are through with their primary 6. Look for one particular trade, one particular skill, and give them. Let them start skilling up. Stop doing the whole go and learn tailoring. Go and do it's important. But we have a number of tailors already now. So he starts doing that tech thing. Money Point's CEO, the owner or founder rather, was saying the other day.
I had this conversation was
saying the other day that some of the things that he wants Nigerians to do, you know, the skills that he needs Nigerians to have, they don't have it. So he typically would import these skills.
So wellhead servicing companies should sit on the ground so that our young people will do wellhead servicing, so that we take those positions that they bring expatriates to do.
We should be serious.
We should be serious about a lot of things.
Much like the South Africans.
Let's say the Lagos people, they take tech. We take the value chain of our oil companies. So we take everything there.
Any foreigner that's holding one thing or one thing, that's me, I don't quite vibe the whole carry your contracts where you get go give CC. I'll be waiting one Chinese company. No. There are indigenous companies doing these things. give the contracts to indigenous companies, allow them to empower people who are around, Nigerians. The skill we're talking about.
Are the indigenous companies capable? We have indigenous companies that are capable, that they are using. We have, I don't want to call names, but we have very good indigenous companies.
If you are one who is not a
we don't have more than those small.
If you're one who is not a mid
people,
then you know that you need a professional to be at the helm of this, but not to the job, the whole of the contract. You give it to a company that is a Chinese or a non-Nigerian company. The idea is this: we should have our Nigerian companies doing these things, our Nigerian companies engaging these boys. It should be a Nigerian company, so that the skill can be ours. We can now embrace these skills. But if at all there is somebody from we are doing transfer of knowledge.
But really,
they transfer the knowledge to us, and we continue.
Really, one of the downsides of using our company is that our companies,
we are below average.
From experience, apart from doing below average, the polity and the regime affects our companies. Example, this politician is affiliated to that company and the regime has changed. You don't want to use that company again because you know that if you use that company, the head of that company is probably a man from this party or this tribe of this, so you rather just ditch the company altogether. I know recently when Jonathan's government had changed to Buhari's government, a lot of indigenous companies were dropped because they know that the owners of those companies had PDP affiliation, they had this party affiliation, so they would rather just drop the companies altogether. So that political end of it usually has a way of affecting beyond competence.
This is giving contracts to companies that have not even done 2 years. Companies that were registered by someone who is in government at that time. Most of the companies you're referring to now are companies registered by those who are in government.
No, not totally true.
Most, yeah.
Not totally true.
We could start mentioning them of companies now and tell you how, when you say they have ties, I doubt a proper businessman would want to have ties with government. If Dangote, for instance, what ties does Dangote, does it involve in politics? If he does that in secret, typically we know that you would not see a Dangote say, I support Tinubu to become president, or I support this person to become president. Even if he wants to involve in politics, he could decide to give Tinubu something, give this person something. So anybody that comes in, he favors him. That's just basically, the businessman's politics. Business interest
first.
But a typical company would not choose to play politics or, be one-sided. Because after this person, if the time is done, you'll be affected greatly. So for me, I think most of these companies you're referring to now, these indigenous companies you're referring to, are those created by politicians
while they were
in politics.
So that they take
just
a
because
stake.
they want to collect the contract. That's it. But that's not what I'm referring to. We're talking about proper Nigerian companies, reputable Nigerian companies.
We have some companies doing well. They look great.
Megastar.
LCC.
Megastar, that are Nigerian companies.
Yeah, that are doing
and you give it to them,
jobs.
you know that we are not
jobs,
transferring or we're not sending money out of the economy,
And the thing about the thing about local content now, you see, they come with local content policy. Come, let me see how many staff here. They look at the staff. Oh, 80% of them are our indigens. Oh, wonderful, wonderful. The 80% are cleaners. They are this one. They work in the galley. They work in the operational, low-level operational position, and you are happy with that. How about the company? Come on, train some of our guys and get this so that we can occupy the higher echelons of those companies. But we usually are comfortable with the percentage rather than the cadre that we sit, in these companies. So I think it's with these few points of ours, I don't know.
If we successfully convinced you, like we say when we were doing debates while young, right?
Yes. I'm not confused you, but to convince you.
Our intent is to convince you, not to confuse you.
Even
so that
if
when
you
you
have
decide
to
to go for rally,
to do the right thing,
they give you 5K, you say, I'm keeping a 5K. I came here because I'm looking for development of my community.
First,
and then you tell the person. If you collect that 5K, you know go fit tell the person, you go just simply they drag for that 5K. You know fit tell the person say, Oga, my community no get water.
Yeah.
I go take do one small well. Even in the olden days well, that we say they do like this.
Monopump.
We just get water to drink. Cholera is a thing. You want to fight cholera, but then people are still drinking from the river. Do you know people have that as notion, like they believe it? Ah, na my water, na river water, na water.
If you want clean water, go the middle.
Go
the middle.
I don't ask this question.
We are doing go the middle.
Like I don't ask this question. Say that's river water, even the middle. Say cholera person bring out, defecate out. If they dismiss at some point, if they die at some point.
The excuse that is a lie that they tell themselves is that it flow.
You don't go flow enter the middle where you go first.
When it can't flow, another person from another community don't flourish your community. So you think say because you don't do
and
you don't
defecate for the defecation now they do. Now there you day. So that thing still resides in our head. It still resides in our head.
You know, kill our grandpapa.
It is because you know, if see water anywhere. Even the Yenagoa concept, na Meriwa they supply water. To buy water now don't too cost.
Don't cost.
You can't be our hinterland communities. Where you want to see them? Full community like this now. You know the
for some communities, there's a big man that when for people to have water, tap water. Know that the man has come to the community, so the 1 week or 2 weeks is going to be around the community. They will have
I visited
water.
the communities.
You know, come on.
I don't want to mention the local government, but a community some 3 months back. When I came back, I mean I enjoyed my stay there, but when I came back, I had a running stomach. Why? The water didn't give me what I use. River water. Me, I didn't even think of it then. They give me, I drink the guy with the fish. I didn't think of it. It didn't go well. I finished, come back, I had a running stomach.
And this is what people live on. And
I mean, at some point
they kill Africa man.
No, at some point their body, it's not about Africa.
What is the life expectancy of Africa man now? 42 years.
Was it not 3 years ago? Okay, 42 years. I thought they had brought it down to 30, though.
Really?
No, I thought they brought it down to. There was a time because not typical African man, but then in Nigeria, especially by ourselves, one environmentalist did something like that. Renowned environmentalist actually. You know, it had gotten to 30 something.
I agree. Because how they calculate life expectancy, apart from all these other things, they also compute the primary healthcare centers around. And we don't have a lot of that in this region, not just Bayelsa alone. We don't have them, you know. So because there are no primary health centers,
the ones that are even there are barely functional.
Yeah. So these things, bringing these things together, they used to compute your life expectancy, and we are short of all these things. So that's they kill African man.
African man life problem.
African man life
secondary care problem. Tertiary non-existent.
Is well. I thought I was staying with these few points of ours, but you still have more to say.
I guess
we still have more to say. But at this country beginning to form, I'll stick together.
Let's continue talking. Please.
Yeah,
very important. Continue talking. Continue talking.
Don't forget, my name is Israel, and I'm with
Henry. Please,
Henry. Bye for now. We'll meet you on the other side.
Quality standard of living. To actualize this vision, we need your support and partnership. Join forces with us to improve rural infrastructure, enhance quality education, boost healthcare, and foster economic growth. Together, we can create opportunities for youth empowerment and employment, promote cultural heritage, and ensure food security and strengthen community social services. How you can support: participate in community engagement forums and collaborate with local government authorities and the Ministry of Community Development. Come, let's build a prosperous Bayelsa together. Courtesy, Honorable Alfred Belamonte Watson, Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Community Development. The impacts of climate change are upon us, necessitating adaptation and resilient building. In Bayelsa State, the recent annual rainy season has brought severe consequences, including excessive flash floods and river flooding, causing untold hardship for residents. However, under the leadership of His Excellency, Senator Doye Duri, the Prosperity Government has taken proactive measures to mitigate these effects The establishment of the Directorate of Floods and Erosion Control, along with the strengthening of other related agencies such as the Bayelsa State Emergency Management Agency, demonstrates a commitment to reducing the impact of floods. To further enhance resilience, major blocks, canals, river outlets, and drainage systems are being cleared, and higher grounds have been identified in.
I still support Governor Doye. I still support Governor Doye. Barrister Igbeta, welcome to Chat with Naija Live TV.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you for having me here.
You're welcome. So
it's good to have you, really.
It is. Let's start with the center question.
All right.
Why do you still support Governor Doye's administration?
Okay, well, first of all, let me thank Naija TV, our staff, and almost our esteemed viewers for having me here today. A lot of people do not understand that the prosperity government is our brainchild when it comes to the youth wing. I remember in 2019 when I served out my tenure as special assistant to the then MD of NDDC, Professor Nelson Brambayefa. Before then, I have been linked to my late boss, the late deputy governor, Senator Lawrence Orijakpo of blessed memory. He's my boss, somebody I served for almost 14 years before his demise. And I was his essay on youth. I was his #1 youth mobilizer. And I think in 2019, he called me and we sat, I remember, and discussed that, see, we are ushering in another leadership in Bayelsa. And he would want me to play a very key and pivotal role, as I've always done. I was the DG of the Orijakpo options when he was going for Senate. I was in charge of the youth. I'm not from Sagbama, I'm from Nimbi. I'm from Bayelsa East. He's from Sagbama. But my political affiliation has always been with the West, strongly. I was one time also DG. I formed the Keneba Youth Vanguard, the President House of Assembly member serving Sagbama constituency too. I'm just trying to narrate my political trajectory. And at the end of the day, I was called that a new leadership is coming in, as usual. Come up with a youth organization. So I formed the Diri Law Youth Project as at the time. I can boldly tell you that was almost the #1 youth organization as at the time, because a lot of people that can reminisce that era, it was engulfed with a lot of political tide shift from the PDP then to the APC. The whole state was like 60-40. A lot of persons were clamoring around in terms of the political cycle, not in terms of population, around the new bride then, the APC leadership. And we were the one that stood with the PDP. Another youth organization sprang up as at the time also the Diri Law Youth Network, headed by my brother and friend Ibilade Kerefe as at the time. And we were the only 2 youth organizations that were inaugurated by the governor of the day, Doye Diri, and his late deputy. Were inaugurated, we had our secretariat. In fact, the whole youth organogram was resting on our shoulders. And we fought even when we lost the election. We were like orphans because we were in the political quagmire, not knowing what channel to take in terms of our political journey. And by God's willing, as God may have it, on that fateful day of 20th of February, that landmark judgment of the Supreme Court was pronounced, and we came into office. You know, you can see where we are coming from. We are not people that came to join the prosperity administration of His Excellency Senator Doye Diri halfway. We were part of the baking process. We were there when the odds were down. We were there when the whole odds were against us. And we fought and we stood. And today we are proud of what the governor is doing in all sectors. And this is what we saw, that we tried as much as possible to stand with the governor, because we know that Bayelsans will be the major beneficiaries. Today, I can boldly go anywhere and say to people that the decisions I took 6 years plus ago wasn't the wrong decision as far as the political future of this state is concerned. So we are not people that are just coming to identify or recognize with the government. We have always contributed our quota. We have always stood with this government. We have always been very vocal and very visible in the policies and programs and the organogram of this administration.
Okay. When you say that the decision you took several years back, you're very comfortable with them today and you're happy, I mean, what really is informing this? Is it the projects that the
yes.
has done? Is it the policies of the government? Is it the fact
yes.
that you went to APC? You comfortable with that too?
Well, like I will always tell people, we live in a dynamic society. What is the essence of politics? What is the essence of leadership? Delivering the needed dividends of democracy to the people. Trying to achieve and actualize the campaigning promises you made to the people. Trying to normal day-to-day businesses. Private sectors are booming, doing their own businesses. And when you also talk about why am I so comfortable, you can see what is happening with infrastructure. You can see the road network that is cutting across the whole senatorial district. I'm from the Bayelsa East, and I can tell you that the Nebe Brass Road is mind-boggling. If you don't have an elephant act, you cannot embark on a gigantic project of that nature. Conceiving and conceptualizing the idea alone is very challenging. And this governor took that bold step because I remember those were part of our campaign promises when we were campaigning in that axis. And when he started the project, I can understand that he meant whatever he said as at the time. You can see what has happened to the Oproma people. Today, you can drive to Oproma, a 630-meter bridge that was almost looking impossible. I think the longest right now within this part of the world, especially within this South region. And is it about human capacity development? Is it about security? Is it about the health sector? You can see what is happening with the BHIS scheme. You can see what is happening with civil servants. You can see the new civil service secretariat that is ongoing, the 9-story secretariat that is ongoing. That project was it was the foundation laying ceremony was done just less than a year, and you can see where they have taken the project to. What about the sports sector? Look at what is happening with the new Bayelsa Stadium at Igbogene. You know, you can go on the road networks. You can go on and on and on. You know, and these are the things we want to see proven. And you talked about is the campaign to the APC. Well, like I told people, politics is dynamic. Leadership is about loyalty. A lot of people asked, I remember when my late boss died, and they were like, why didn't you go to the NDC? Because most of his people are in the NDC. Why are you with the governor? I said, well, one thing I've learned from my late boss is absolute loyalty. Until his demise, he has shown that, and he has always drawn my ear to that this is a project we started. Remember, whether good or bad, you must stand with this project until the governor finishes strong. That is how you take full responsibility and liability in every of your actions. And that is what informed my decision. Probably if my late boss would have been alive, I would have maybe, who knows, maybe taken either this same twist, because I know the governor also, my boss also believe in loyalty. So when a lot of people try to have these innovations, that why would the governor go? The governor sees what we don't see. And as a leader, we must be ready at all times to try to follow his lead, because you can see what is happening in the country. You must connect with the center for you to be able to attract more development to the people.
Well, if your late boss were adamant and had remained in the PDP or perhaps defected to the NDC, would you have joined him to defect to the NDC, or would you rather defect to the APC? If I mean, this is an if.
No, that also depends on the political circumstances and dynamics as at the time. You know, like I told you, I served the boss who, if out of conviction, political conviction, either personal or otherwise, you decide to take a different political twist from him, is somebody that will not cajole you to say, why didn't you go my way? You understand? Because he has always shown, because I'm an appointee of the governor, and if the circumstances as at the time demand me showing loyalty, I think my decision that I've taken now wouldn't be different if that may have been the case.
The thing is, political parties in most cases have ideologies.
Yes.
Which do you think would have really appealed to you? I mean, the NDC is there, former Governor Dixon and the Senator representing Bayelsa West. The political ideology of the NDC, do you think you'd favor that over the APC? I mean, if you really keenly observe both manifestos, the party manifestos, would you have favored that? Or no, that's not you.
I am an academic doctor, and my ideologies are quite different from the main conventional reasoning. I believe more in leadership, in individual conviction, than party followership. Party followership is just a vehicle for you achieving a particular political ideology. What makes a political party to be very pronounced is when they can be able to produce good leadership. So I tail more to individual leadership prowess than blindly following a political platform based on their ideology. You know, when I see leadership in an administrator delivering the dividend of democracy to the people, trying to do what the people had expected him to do, I think that is where I see ideology come to play, not the political party he belongs to. You know, we have gotten to a time where it is now very visible that we should pay less attention to our political party affiliations. Rather, we should pay more attention to individual capacity, individual technical know-how, individual leadership prowess of whomever we are following in leadership. And that is what this governor has shown.
Okay. Yeah. Your response now shows that you would, well,
not say they are leaders in their own rights. They are leaders in their own right. And again, I want to also make people understand something. We all know ourselves in these states. You getting a new clothes doesn't make you a born again. Just because you've been wearing one particular shirt and you got a new clothes, that doesn't take away who you are. It only changes your identity. It doesn't change the capacity or the character that you possess of. So in all way, that's why I said the political platform does not matter in most cases. The question is what the leader at that particular time is doing. Is it what the people want? Is it leading you right? You know, there is what they call blind followership too. You must be very careful. Is it giving you the needed opportunity to also express yourself and to build yourself? And I always tell young people, there are different patterns of followership. Now, a lot of people follow for reward. If you follow for reward, you may not have the needed reward and you will never be contented. But if you follow for experience and for knowledge and for, how would I put it, to develop yourself,
that's also rewarding, is it not?
No, it is rewarding, but when I mean reward, the other reward is a material reward. People follow a particular system because they want this and they want
pecuniary
that.
Gains.
Yes, pecuniary gains. You will miss it. A lot of the times I discuss with my people, I said, the only way to make money is to pay less attention to looking for money.
Oh, right.
Yes.
Well, that's a life lesson.
Pay
right
less
there.
attention to looking for money.
That. Oh, really?
If you pay attention in looking for money, you will not make money.
You will make it.
Money always run away from those who are desperate coming to them. But if you create relationships, if you create avenues, if you create baits here and there, and leave it, it will germinate and money will come. You know, that is one thing a lot of people like.
You should make your book available so we'll come and purchase it, because we really have a lot of lessons to take from them. But yeah.
Okay, so I want to ask, you are loyal to Governor Diri.
Yeah, 100%.
From your everything, all the points you've given.
Yes.
But you'd agree with me that critics still condemn Governor Diri's administration when we talk about the fact that we're still suffering unemployment for fresh graduates, underdevelopment, And then there's been a whole thingy with the Bayelsa State International Airport. Why is it flying once in a week? And so many things have been coming. So, Barrister Aibakuro, let me hear from you. For Governor Diri, are you defending results or relationships? Let's look at it that way, because you mentioned something also about relationships. Keeping relationships.
Yes.
So are you defending relationship or results?
Well, it may shock you to know that I don't have any personal relationship with the governor.
You've not gained anything from him?
Not that I have not gained anything from him, but I don't have any personal relationship with the governor.
You are an essay to him?
Yes. My appointment came from him. But when I mean I don't have, I'm an aide to the governor, as per the status of my appointment as Secretary General, Center for Development. But I don't have that personal relationship with him. Now, coming to your question, in every system, or even in our personal lives, if you don't have critics, then there is something wrong. Something is wrong. Criticisms are beautiful way of reassessing and re-examining yourself, your policies and program, so that you can do more better for the people. True. It may even surprise you. I tell people, if you are leaving your house and you see one beggar and you begin to give him 100 naira, 100 naira, 100 naira, one day the beggar will grumble, will I die with 100 naira? Can't you increase it to 200 naira? That is the human nature. What am I saying? You cannot please and satisfy all your citizenry, everybody. You are leading. Now, you talked about a lot of factors. I don't follow people because of relationship. I have a lot of bosses in this town, cut across all sectors outside the states. But one thing you will not see me do, you will not see me in my leader's house unannounced or trying to go and find favor. I don't believe in that. I believe in visible projections. I believe in what I can see. Today I've mentioned a lot of areas. If you tell me to mention what the Governor Doidiri have done, I can mention them. I can go ahead and ahead. You're talking about unemployment. I know a lot of people who have benefited from this recent 1,000 civil service employment scheme. And I can tell you for free, a lot of them do not even know anybody in government house. This employment went seamlessly and a lot of them got the jobs. Let me also shock you. There is a particular situation. I think the teachers recruitment that was done of recent, before my lead boss died. That recruitment was done and some names were published. Then later, I think another list came on board, replacing those ones. They cancelled that list. Do you know what the governor did? Because that first list was on merits. We don't know how the second list came about. Some of us also complained. Some of us they complained to my lead boss too. But the governor, to the surprising of everybody, took the decision that that list that was cancelled should be retained. And rather the subsequent one that we don't know how it came about within the system was stepped down. And that is who this man is. Okay. You talked about the Bayelsa International Airport. The Bayelsa State government yesterday was just awarded with the license to operate, the NCAA license, issued by the Minister of Aviation, Festus Kayamo. It was issued to the Managing Director of the Bayelsa State Airport. And it was handed over to the governor yesterday. Aviation sector is highly intense and is very demanding. For you to get those licenses, I think I have a little bit of... I have a colleague somewhere in NDDC where I have a retainership with. He dealt on aviation, and I know I went through some of his writings because we all did PhD together. And I saw that the licenses, some of them has a compulsory period of inspection. You can't just go there and they will just issue you. There are some period that you must. It's just like building a house. If you do the decking, you must leave it for I think 21 days or something. There are licenses that you can't just get. After your airport is there, they must come and reassess it. They will give them a time frame. They will come again and reassess it, give it a time frame. Sometimes it takes up to 12 months. Sometimes it takes up to 24 months before those licenses will be issued. And they must also guarantee the viability, the commercial stability of that airport. And the aviation sector is highly capital intensive also. You must understand that. With the rate of funds, paucity of funds, and number of projects going on at the same time in the states, you can only understand what the government of the day is going through in trying to see that they try to satisfy to an extent all sectors within their ambit. So criticisms are part of governance. These people criticizing, there are people we've seen that criticize the government. Then at the end of the day, you also see them commending the government. When the government, without criticism, you just be like a blind leader. You will not know. When everybody claps for you, then you know that there is something wrong in leadership.
Oh, criticism you have mentioned.
Yes.
Loyalty you've also mentioned.
Yes.
Do you think that by virtue of your position as Bayelsa wants the development of Bayelsa State, there are areas you could point out in Doediri's administration that, well, he's not getting it right at all. We all want development in Bayelsa State, even though you pointed areas where, he's commendable, yeah? Well, are there areas you think that the governor needs to rejig, do something, appoint someone else, or do something better to have a better result? Are there areas like that?
Yes, of course there are. The governor is doesn't fall from the sky. The governor is full-blooded like you and me. And the governor is not omniscient, neither is it omnipresent, that he will be able to fulfill the yearnings and aspirations of all Bayelsans. There are some areas that we know that there may be some vacuum or some lacuna in terms of governance. Nobody can have it all. Governance is continuum. And again, what I use to assess the level of development in every administration is the equation, the ratio. When you know that the person is scoring 70, even in school, or 80, that is a pass mark, a very good pass mark. Somebody must not score 100 over 100 for you to know that the person have scored a very good grade. You understand? And again, one thing we should also be very careful. There is what they call ideological change, psychological change in psychology that is going on. I give an analogy some time back. I said, when you are going through the tutelage of leadership, you must understand that the style of leadership you follow will also reflect in your own subsequent exhibition and relationship with other people in society. If you are following a leader who is peaceful, if you are following a leader who is stable, if you are following a leader who is very subtle in taking decisions, it only goes to show that you are learning a new phase in terms of leadership. Fine, there are a lot of maybe some areas where CD and just make them whomever he likes. You understand? I can also tell you for free that my own stakeholders, the name-based stakeholders, were called yesterday to Government House to make a decision and vote it in front of the governor, when the governor even have the sole right to choose whomever he wants to choose. But the governor deemed fit to call stakeholders from areas where there are conflicts, where there are worrying conflict, and where there are visible crises, to say, okay, you people are the stakeholders from this area. You don't expect me to impose a candidate on you. Come and decide for yourself. And they go into ballots indoor, and whoever maybe decide takes the day. And that is what the governor has been doing, carrying everybody along.
If the governor is really carrying everybody along, why are there people who are defecting from the APC? He's such a loving governor, one who would bring all sides together.
No, you don't. Let me also address that point. See, God in his infinite mercy knows a way of actualizing the dream or the political aspiration of every individual. A lot of people defecting and not defecting because they have an issue with the governor, because they don't like the style of the governor. Some people have the conviction that they are the ones that should be there in that seat. So if they don't stand a chance in actualizing that dream in that particular political platform, and they have other platform where they are favorites, they want to go there to explore the opportunity there, so that if they emerge, they will still support the governor. And also, the governor brought in an innovation in the political cycle of this state, which will stand the test of time and which will also be an indelible print in the annals of our history. When he came on board, I think he was one of the first person that appointed people from the opposition. He appointed, then he was in the PDP, and his appointment on second term were people from the APC. I think the APC had over like 4, 5, or 6 commissioners in his cabinet.
Wasn't that a response to the evolution, the kind of politics? One introduced by the present FCT minister, anti-party kind of politics. These persons were probably rewarded.
They are different. They are different. The FCT minister has brought a very negative political.
The anti-party kind of politics.
Yes. What the governor did was an inclusion.
Those persons, you're saying they did not play anti-party?
No, if you don't have any I believe in fact, I'm a lawyer. If you don't have any verifiable facts or evidence, you don't stand a chance to accuse anybody. Now, I also subscribe to that ideology, where it's not because of the fact that you've been fighting with your brother. If you look at even my campaigns in my IYC election I'm going into, I've always told people that everybody contesting with me is qualified, and the governor plays that kind of politics too, and I learned that from the governor also. You know, you understand that we are all Bayelsans, and something is happening. This is the governor that brought it very open. I also know that previously state government also tried to recoup expenses of those who contest with them after a governor emerges. This one, the governor has brought in that love and togetherness, an all-inclusive government where people who has what it takes should not be denied the opportunity of serving their people just because they belong to an opposite political platform. That is not anti-party. That is a different kind. But I think what the FCT minister, to his credit, is doing is visible, where you are here and you are cutting the short here, and you are doing this and you are doing that.
What the FCT minister is doing is anti-party.
Obviously, strictly.
How is that anti-party? Because you're one who does not believe in making statements without facts.
Anti-party, you can see that the governor, the FCT minister, I believe in fact, like I told you.
He's one who is still in the PDP. Till now.
He's still in
and
PDP.
All PDP governors have left.
No, listen. It's not about leaving. He's in PDP, and he's obviously telling you who is in PDP that nobody should field the presidential candidate against the APC government is working for.
They have a presidential candidate, are you aware?
No. He said it.
Okay.
He said it. And he also said that anybody that works against the re-election of the president whom he is serving, that is going to fight the person to stand still. And that is what he's doing. That is obvious anti-party.
So you're saying the likes of the minister for petroleum, state petroleum, did not support Governor Doideri to emerge as governor, and neither did David Lyon, who have people, supporters, and proteges who are commissioners in Doideri's government today. That's what you're saying. You won't tell
they may have supported them out off camera, behind the scene, but you will never see them make proclamations affirming.
So you're saying
publicly
that support was an anti-party?
No, for me, anti-party, everybody in life.
Even if at the end of the day, the support jinxed the chances of Chief Silver for him to have emerged as governor.
that is a personal thing. That's what I'm saying. See, they said everybody may be a thief, but who then cash may be thief. You understand?
Right.
Everybody may be a thief, but who then cash may be thief. So that is where the wisdom comes in.
Okay, as they no cash am now.
Yes, if they no cash you for something, they said maybe in the scene of crime something happened, if not for the fact that there are accessories before, during, and after a crime. If maybe even if you are the one that was with the gun in armed robbery scene and they did not find the gun in your hand, and you just claim that, well, I'm just here, but one person was just with his gun. That person is the one that is a criminal, even if you are found within that perimeters.
Alrighty.
It is until when you are proven.
Let's backtrack. Okay. We have a lot to cover, so let's backtrack a little. Okay. I had asked the question around areas you think that, well, the governor should probably do better. I mean, you mentioned that you gave a lot of talk around that, but you did not quite mention specific areas where you noticed that, oh, the governor, there is a felt need here, and you've not quite addressed this felt need.
Well, it's dynamic. Areas whom I may feel that the governor may not be doing well, others may feel the governor is doing well. And also areas where I feel the governor is doing well, others may also feel the governor is not doing well. So it's dynamic. So for me, like I have said, it is an omnibus statement I made that in governance you cannot satisfy and please everybody. There are still areas where there are vacuum, where there is need for improvement. But we shouldn't forget governance is continuum. So where it didn't finish, where it didn't do well, other people will come and continue from there.
All right. So let's look at IYC.
All right.
Yes, let's look at IYC. We hear that you once served as the legal advisor.
Yes.
In 2017.
Yes.
Thereabout. And again, you had ambitions to contest as the Central Zone chairman, but you stepped down. Why? Why did you step down first?
You were asked to step down, right?
Yes, you were asked to step down. You mentioned loyalty, but I don't know if we are supposed to be scared of loyalty. I mean, there should be a limit to loyalty. You had your ideology, you had your everything, all your plans to serve as the chairman of the IYC Central Zone. Why did you step down? What was that about?
Well, that is, in fact, I don't know, you caught me on the web. That is one of the very few and foremost areas where my loyalty was truly tested. You know, it was one painful decision that I have to make for the interest of sacrifice and for the interest of our government.
Okay.
I served as legal advisor from 2017 to 2020. I was appointed special assistant to the MD of NDDC. I was the youngest special assistant then at the level of level 16 of the civil service hierarchy, and I left as SA and I was engulfed with this IYC Central Zone aspiration. And I think that time, do you know where the loyalty, where the temptation was so paramount? I was having my money to contest that election without resorting to government.
Okay.
And I was having money to pay my delegate. I think I was one of the predominant aspirants at the time.
Because usually some people would see your stepping down as maybe his godfathers did not fund him.
Yes. And now, at that time, a lot of people knew that was not the situation.
Okay.
You know, as a young man who was SA, of course, you know what SA means in NDDC. And I served.
We don't know.
No, people know.
We don't know.
We have the likes of Blessing Olomu, who was SA2 while I was SA.
It's okay. We're
getting the picture. We're
getting the picture.
My leader. So now I was engulfed with calls. You know, I think the governor was looking for me and my stakeholders, and my lead boss called me. The member representing Yenagoa Kolokno Federal Constituency, Honorable Forjo, was there, and the then Commissioner of Police was there in his office. And when I went to my Oga saw that I was crying. He said, "You have to go and see the governor. For my sake, you have to go and see the governor." Because I already
knew. Your relationship with governor started.
Yes. So now you have to go and see the governor. I said, "Oga, they will ask me to step down. Allow me just to contest this election."
Just to put in proper context, Governor Doyediri.
Governor Doyediri, yes. That your stakeholders are with the governor. You know, the governor is not also somebody that likes suppressing or imposing any candidates. That's one quality we have in this governor, we have in Bayelsa as today. So when I approached the governor, my stakeholders were there, and the governor said, "I heard from the security report," I am quoting him, "I heard that you are one of the best in this election. But your stakeholders and some people said you should step aside for another person to go for now." And I said something to the governor. I said, "Your Excellency, sir, that is not the situation. They said I'm deputy governor's boy. That is why they said I shouldn't contest the election." Then the governor said, "No, the deputy governor and the governor are the same people." I said, "I know, Your Excellency, but I cannot be taller than you, my leader." They said, "Okoro cannot be taller than its owner. So for your sake, I will heed to your counsel and your directive." And I also said something. I said, "Your Excellency, I hope tomorrow, when a particular situation arises again, for you to use that same machete you are using on me, hope you are also going to use it on another person too." and I think I discussed and I left. And I was not the only one. Other candidates were also called, but they refused. About 3 or 2 of them refused to step down. The governor called them the way they called me, and they went into the race. In fact, on that fateful day, in the evening again, I got a call that the governor said I should follow them to all the hotels where the delegates are camped, because the delegates find it very difficult to believe that I have stepped down. So I have to go and convince them. And when I went there, I answered a lot of names as at the time. Betrayal, I've betrayed them. They stood by me. Now I've gone to government house to collect money. Those kind of petty. But it's normal, it's usual in the circumstances like this.
Yeah, very true.
So I made that sacrifice. The following day, on the day of election, I also went to the venue to announce my stepping down openly. And I see some people were also crying, some people were not happy, and I have to now calm wounds. That was how the chairman, as at that time, emerged in Central Zone. And today again, I am still vying for the office of the Secretary General.
If the governor calls you to step down, would you?
Especially because you say you don't have a relationship with him.
No, the governor is a very objective, fair, and very equitable character.
Okay.
The governor I know is a very fair, just, equitable character. If a governor have asked you to step down and there is another situation, the governor will never ask you to step down again.
What if the person
you're saying that's absolute though?
No, I am telling you who I know Governor Doidiri to be.
So if he's asked you to step down once,
he will not allow you. He cannot strike you more than once.
This confirms that you are likely the governor's candidate.
I am not. Even right now, I can also tell you for free that there are some candidates who are contesting this election that still believes that the governor will still ask me to step down. They are bragging. Okay. They believe, they said, is it not the governor that asked him to step down even when his late boss was there? Now, too, it's a matter of letting him be jumping. We'll just ask the governor to ask him to step down again. Especially now that his late boss is not there. Nobody's even speaking for him in government house.
Well, you contested, you've been legal advisor of the IYC Worldwide.
Yes.
Contested for Central Zone Chairman.
Yes.
Asked to step down. And now you're looking to be the national secretary. One would ask, why don't you raise this bar up and go for the president? I mean, why are you running for president? Right?
Yes, IYC is a very unique.
Why run for secretary?
It's a very unique organization. The Secretary General is more or less like the de facto president of the zone. You are the leader of the zone. And again, council is built around 3 major offices in the IYC. Okay. The president, the Secretary General, who is the head of the secretariat, who is the policy maker, is that the policy drafter of the entire council, then the spokesman of council. So if you must get it right as president, you must rise within these pyramids for you to be able to garner the needed experience and prowess for you to deliver. I'm not also somebody, I like what my trajectory has always been service to my people. Especially, I don't like overpricing myself. Even when a lot of people feel like you are more than this, why are you doing this? I like serving people. I like coming down to serve people. And I feel I'm a stabilizing factor in whatever I do. I think I was secretary to the Prosperity Youth Coalition, as you know, when Dobara Komoko was the DG for over 2 years plus. And you can see the stability I brought into that organization. And that has been my style. I always don't like maybe being at the forefront most of the times. I like serving from behind. I like service a lot. I like loyalty. And that is what I learned. And that is why at this time I'm picking up the challenge. Because if you look at council, one of also the very fundamental reasons why I took up the challenge is to give council some level of image laundering. You understand? To give council a new face. It's better that everybody know cannot sit somewhere and some minister from somewhere from another ethnic background will come and say thunder will fire a nation, and it better will not take the media to respond to him. It better will respond to him. That is the kind of
the current Secretary General or even the President?
No, everybody.
I know that
everybody have their style of leadership.
So you're radical?
No, I am not radical.
Okay.
I address issues for issues.
Hold on.
The
You're
nine
from the Kubri, and you're saying that you would rather do different. I mean, he did not address.
He has his own style of addressing issues regarding to that. We know what he did. He also responded to those issues beautifully. Jonathan tried with his neck. This issue of Fubara being an Ijo man, we know how tactically there are so many times Jonathan came on to challenge them and to also say stop to most of those things that were happening. He defended the Ijo interest very perfectly. But I have my own style. There are some things some of us nip at the head. We nip it at the head, so that at the end of the day, you know, they said when you allow your child to always come close to your testicles, to come and play with your testicles always, if you see it as if it's a rope, so you will now always be drawing it.
You've taken after your late boss in doing
Proverbs.
It's not the other testicle that my late boss or
your late boss
must first inform the second wife.
No, that's the same testicles Proverbs. But
so that is how it is. So, you know, everybody have their own style. You understand? But for me, I like addressing. That is my style. I like addressing the issues
style, the gay style.
No, that is another area we are.
Because we have two styles that I think I know: the gay and intellectual.
No,
approach.
I told people that when you grow in terms of when you are vast and experienced in terms of academics, you begin to understand that. You begin to understand that there are a lot of things that you can achieve with negotiation instead of violence. A lot of things you feel you can use violence to achieve. You can even achieve more if you are passing through the right channel. Like I tell people, we are going into the pen struggle with the IYC. We are not going to that Bikini style of IYC again. Now, for instance, if you have Fogados in my area operating, or maybe Ajib or maybe ExxonMobil operating in my area, and you feel they are not keeping up with their corporate social responsibility, or they are not adhering to the Local Content Acts by trying to resort to indigenous people in carrying out their assigned jobs, and they are bringing in outsiders maybe to come and do those jobs, what do? It's not for you to go there and make the noise. You first of all, you petition them to the NSC, you go to the National Assembly. There are the institutions that are responsible in trying to checkmate and oversee them. You first take up the matters in those areas. They should, for me, that is one of my campaign policies, where we are going to return power back to the clan structures, where every clan, if you know there is a particular firm or IOCs operating in your area or doing any servicing job in your area, we must approach them to show us the certificate of local content compliance first. You must show us the certificate, so that let us know our people that are from that area that are engaged by your firm. Those are the areas, and again, we must have a comprehensive database. I know that we have suffered enough in this region, even if we house the economic base of the nation, or maybe we are an economic powerhouse of the nation. Now, most of these companies and most of these firms hide under the guise that they cannot get the needed skill sets within our space. You know, everybody must not go to school. Everybody must not be skilled. We have skilled, semi-skilled, and unskilled labor anywhere you go in the world. There are those who are scaffolders, there are those who believe in painting, there are those who are skilled in electrification, there are those who believe in tile making, you know, mention them, a lot of them. So we must have a comprehensive database where you just go into that setting and drop your skill sets, what you are good at. Your local governments, your community, the kind of skill you engage in that particular community to whom you feel have those needed. You know, it also helps in need assessment for me to know what a particular people need at a particular time. That is another wrong way of empowerment. If you empower people with what they don't need at that time, it will be a wasted effort at the end of the day. So it will not be business as usual. The peculiarities of every of our Ijaw communities and whatever they do must be taken into consideration.
Oh, you were legal advisor of the RIC Worldwide, and when people hear that, I'm looking to run for the National Secretary of IYC, they'd want to immediately backtrack, piggyback on some of the things that you probably had done, but they will also be looking out for you to tell them, remind them, these things you did then as legal advisor, the changes you helped bring to council, maybe this on this premise, they're likely to say, okay, yeah, we can support you.
Yeah, we did a lot of things as at the time. In fact, a lot of people do not know who legal advisor of IYC was until I came on board. Yes, I can state it boldly here. Legal advisor was one office that was very salient in council, because it's like the second to the least office in the organizational chart of council. And when we came on board, we take up issues. Not, IYC cut across the entire Niger Delta. I think I came up with people, with lawyers who are in the various states where job people are, handling the job matters. We had a lot of cases in court. As at that time too, we had a case about another faction who was claiming leadership. We did a lot of bail application for our youth. Although one thing that we were supposed to engage in, which I'm very sure that the elders have started, was to take the federal government to court. I think we're about starting that process before our tenure rounded up. Because of the fact that Bayelsa is the least marginalized, I think the matter is before the Federal High Court for the creation of more local governments in Bayelsa. And I can assure you and assure your people that as a lawyer, in collaboration with NEC, the 10th NEC, when we come on board, we are going to take over that matter. Those are some areas where the IYC is going to take over the responsibility of that matter. In line with, also in collaboration with the advice of the legal advisor that we emerged as at the time, and NEC, because those are key areas that we also started. We started the process as at that time when I was legal advisor. So you can count them, number of boys, the job people who were languishing in prisons, who we bring up, we maybe went to either one state high court or federal high court to seek for bail applications, bring them out. And we also, I think Ibiwari to us at the time, Ibiwari was also languishing, and we know a lot of things we did, a lot of letters we wrote. And one of the things I think we did was, there was a case in Shell as at the time, where there were some job people they wanted to relieve of their jobs in Shell, I think in NAPIMS or thereabouts. The office of the legal advisor took up that matter. I think we petitioned the NSA, we petitioned the IG, we petitioned the presidency, the Ministry of Petroleum as at the time, and those jobs were secured, because they wanted to step like 4 or 5 job people. They wanted to relieve them, you understand, so that they can step up some expatriates to fill up those spaces. And we fought vehemently against that, and we were able to get victory against them.
Okay, Dr. Igbeta, what if, just what if again, what if the governor picks a consensus candidate? What if?
No,
it's not you, maybe.
No problem. All what I have been asked by people, do you want to be a consensus candidate in this election? I don't like consensus. I don't like being a sole candidate. I like being when I contested as legal advisor, we were 5 persons. I was the least. Then I was just how many years at the bar. Today I'm 15 years at the bar. Then I was very young. I was the least. I had people who are 20, 17 years at the bars at the time that contested with me. And by God's grace, I pulled the highest vote in the history of a generation, 73 votes out of the 110 delegates.
Did you have help from like godfathers?
No, I never had.
Okay.
I think the only person that helped me with my campaign as at the time were some stakeholders. Then my brother and friend, Alfred Kenepado, I must give him the credit. He was contesting Secretary General at that time. So I was attached to his campaigning processes. So most of his delegates, I was also seeing them. So he played also a pivotal role as an elder brother for me.
Well, you did mention that you're affiliated with the Bayelsa West, even more than your Bayelsa East.
Yes, because I am from the Bayelsa East. I have a very cordial relationship with them.
Okay.
You know, a lot of people do not understand that IYC goes beyond Bayelsa. Bayelsa is just 30 delegates. We have 117 delegates. We have the Western Zone, we have the Eastern Zone, starting from Akwa Ibom, the Ibani people. We have the Western Zone, the Ondo, Edo. We have the Abuja chapter, we have the Lagos chapter. So the delegate cut across almost all the zones and chapters. So it is a very rigorous process. So before you are contesting a national office, you know that the tax before you is huge,
yeah.
And it's Eucalian. So you must devote your time. You understand? So I don't like consensus candidacy. And even when somebody, I am very close to this guy. In fact, nobody that is contesting with me in this election that will say they've contributed more to this government than me. I can state it boldly anyway.
Okay.
People knows my antecedent with this government. And even when I was asked that, do you want to be a I said I don't want. All I need is for everybody to go into the field and everybody to be given a level playing ground. Anybody that wins is a win-win for the government.
Okay.
It's a win-win for the government.
The IYC is established as a pressure group. 1998, I believe.
Yes.
Now, a pressure group. But the governor is one who says, this candidate can go. This candidate, please step down for this candidate.
No, the governor. Let me correct that impression.
Okay.
The governor is not the one that decides who goes for where and what in
IYC. Step down.
No.
He told you to step down in 20.
That is what I'm saying. He is not the one that asked me to step down. My stakeholders went to him in order to form a truce, in order to arrive as a truce, to say, well, we have two of our sons that is contesting. Can you please help us talk to these our sons and also other people from other areas, other local governments? As a father of the state, can you please talk to them so that we can have some level of tolerance in the contest? You know, you must also agree with me that IYC is one of the most, in fact, is the most formidable youth organization we have in the whole of the Niger Delta. So the risk of having possible crisis during the electioneering process is very high. So that is why most of the time stakeholders come together to see how they can harmonize interest. So if you don't agree, then if it's just a very jovial and a very coordinated way of pleading or playing with us to say, see, at this time, why don't you people come together and see how you can amend your interests and your aspirations to see how this person can go. But other people also to tell you that the governor is not the one that decides.
So he's basically resolving.
Go. By remaining alive, it entails you trying to be peaceful and trying not to give yourself as a political thug or as somebody who imbibes in violence, political violence, just because of the fact that you are supporting a particular candidate or you are in the train of a particular political boss. I would charge Bayelsa you to be peaceful, to be loving, and to always remain united. That is my major charge, because a lot of us, like I tell people, is because of our lack of unity that there is a lot of infiltration. I remember what my late boss said of blessed memory. He said something very striking before he died. He said, you must be ready as youth to be united to push us out who are fading out, or else we will not leave the scene for you. He said, if you are not united as youth and push us out intentionally, we will not leave the scene for you. Nobody is willing to leave the scene. But if people are united, people can push us out. So that is my charge to everybody. Well, to all the job people, like I've always said, everybody contesting this IYC election with me are credible, qualified. We are all a job people first before we have different aspirations. So all what I'm pleading with everybody is to play by the rules, to love ourselves, that even after the elections, we can always sit together, dine together as brothers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barrister Ibakuro Igbeta, PhD, for sharing your thoughts and expertise on this topic. Really do appreciate you. My name is Babi Umparu, and I've been joined by
Henry Abifula here.
This has been Chats with Naija Live TV. Thank you for watching.
and effectively combat the challenges posed by climate change. Stay safe. Courtesy, Office of the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Environment, Honorable A.B. Ben Olulu.
Every ripple starts turning challenges into opportunities. 5,000 meals served daily in our model boarding secondary schools. Biological sciences laboratory equipment delivered to Niger Delta University. 1,000 teachers and school leaders trained with the British Council. Special education teachers graduating from Ignatius Ajuru University under EDTF. Scholarship research grants fueling innovation in our state-owned tertiary institutions. TVET, science labs, water facilities, culinary kitchens, and clinical labs springing up across Bielsa. Vocational scaffolding trainings and a computer-based testing center at UAT Tororua. These are not just projects, they are ripples that spread across classrooms, communities, and the entire state. But a ripple grows stronger when more hands join the water. So whether you're an organization, or a corporate partner, or an individual who believes in education, you can be part of this ripple. Support EDTF and help us expand Ripple. Donate, partner, or volunteer today. Together, let's transform our educational landscape. EDTF, building futures and putting smiles on faces.
It's on. Yes, so Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide, IYC, Resurgence Mission 2026. Don't come on. Now tested leader, a seasoned administrator, and strong voice for Ijaw Nation. Barrister Ayibakro Igbeta, PhD, former legal advisor of the Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide, former SA Media and Publicity to MD CEO of NDDC, former SA on Youth Affairs to Deputy Governor of Bayelsa State, and Naimi currently Secretary General Bayelsa State Center for Youth Development. In vision, they very clear. Unity for the council and protection of Ijaw people rights for all Niger Delta. The support for Tantisa Security Initiative and make government put better money for Niger Delta agencies, plus opportunity for all Ijaw youth for inside job matter and development. Yes, so time is for us to select the correct secretary. We go pilot the affairs of the Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide IYC 2026. Oh yeah, we'll make you quick vote Barrister Ayibakro Igbeta, PhD for Secretary General Ijaw Youth Council Worldwide. Vote wisely. Ado Alua Onua.
Are often transactional. Financial stability, emotional stability, social assets, you can name them. What do you bring to the table has replaced how do we grow together? Of course, love still exists, but it's often negotiated with benefits. Another note, I welcome you to the Unfiltered table on Niger Live TV, and today we'll be discussing about, do people actually date for love anymore? My name is A.B. Yapan. I'll not be doing it alone. I have with me two beautiful ladies. Let me start with Daniela.
Hi.
And then the other one, her name is Babi. She's fair. You're seeing her. She's all smiles.
Hi, everybody. Hola.
So, about today's topic, it's a discourse that most people have been debating about. Most people feel like people don't date because of love anymore. And most people feel like, no, it's not like that. Why some feel like it has always been like that, where people don't date because of love. So, let's start with Daniela. What's your take on it?
Well, depends on the individual. From my own point of view, yes, there's a paradox of choice where we have technology and dating app to create the illusion of endless options, you know. And we have the Instagram and the TikTok where we see pretty girls and handsome boys. So we feel like, yeah, but for me, from my own point of view, yes, the love exists. Though, you let me say 60%, but I still believe in love. I'm not giving up on love. So.
Of course. Why would you give up on love?
So I still believe that, you know, there is love and people still date for love, but it's rare.
Very rare.
It's very rare. For example, like there's this friend of mine.
Yeah.
She's old enough to get married,
Yeah.
but due to our standards.
So there's no man meeting those standards of her.
Yeah, exactly. But when she met her husband, seriously, her husband was just wearing slippers that day. You understand? But due to the fact that she has come through thick and thin, breakups here and there, she has high standards, high expectations. Mommy and daddy will say, hey, this and that. You don't want to give anybody a chance, you know. And then she met her husband then that was wearing just slippers, you know. But she gave in, you know, she gave room for love. And today they are doing wonderfully well.
But Daniela also, Babi, I know you're coming in, but Babi, sorry, Daniela. I don't know why I keep saying Babi. That's because before the whole podcast we were quarreling. That's why. But then,
we always do.
But then Daniela, you just use your friend as an example. Why she had to, despite all the stands, she had to lower it down. Is it that man was the only option she had at the point, or is it that after everything, let make I just settle down now and she just choose him? Oh, what?
Like for me, I think it's chemistry. It has to do with chemistry.
Not biology.
Well, it has to do with chemistry. And when we talk about love, love is deep. You know, love is spiritual and physical, emotional, and everything.
Okay. Wow.
Okay. So we cannot just give up on love like that.
Okay.
So for my friend, the chemistry was there. She overlooked the whole, you understand. But luckily, the guy is literally rich over. You know, some rich people. Yes, he's rich now. Then he wasn't. But now he is. Okay. So you can imagine the whole dilemma she had to go through just to grow that relationship and make that relationship work, to keep it to her own standards now. So it still goes both ways for both the male and the female, because I've noticed something with this new Gen Z men, like our
thank God you said, I'm a grown-ass man.
They like their girls to have this high standard. If you're not wearing the bow straight or the frontal or your makeup,
even the iPhones too,
you understand, they'll rate you with your iPhone.
Even the Lexus and the likes of them.
Do you understand? Imagine a 23-year-old boy that is using an iPhone 17 would say, I thought she was rich until she pulled up with a Toyota.
What the hell?
All right.
What were you expecting? Okay, about me, I never buy.
You never buy Okada, they go call Keke.
So I'm like, okay. So it goes both ways. Bobby, don't you think so?
You see, everything you've said, I honestly understand from your own point of view. Personally, I don't know if I'm just too focused on other things. Well, I don't believe in love.
Baby, why?
Sadly, I don't.
Why? What are your reasons? And what is something why you feel like love doesn't exist?
I feel love doesn't exist.
Why?
I see it every day, and then I also have friends around me. I have a couple of friends that are in relationships, but then when the issues happen, they're now running to the single one to give them advice. I will advise you to leave your relationship. Oh. You understand? They always run to me, and they are never at peace.
Okay.
I am single and happy. I'm not in any relationship, and I'm the happy one. I'm not in any relationship. I'm the one with the glowing skin. Baby girls, what's going on with you guys?
It's true.
But Babi, is it that you've always been like this, or you choose to change because of an experience?
Okay, because of an experience, or I'd call it growth. I outgrew love.
Wow.
Yes, I was in a relationship.
You're hearing it here first on Naija Live TV.
Oh yes, I outgrew
on the unfiltered table. Someone outgrew love. Even Jesus self no do am.
For real, but you know, there's something I always tell people. If someone says something today, it might not be the same perspective in the next 5 years.
That's
I might
true,
see
reasons
to adjust.
Yeah, reasons to adjust and invite.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was in a relationship for 3 years in university.
Yeah.
You know, university dating, university love it's one of the sweetest. You get to see yourselves, you get to, talk about life after school, don't worry.
Talk about marriage, children.
You understand, children, all that. So I had that very interesting experience then in university. Then along the line, I did school politics. So the period I was contesting, my then boyfriend was already, he was a graduate as at the time. He had already left the school.